the platforms. This one is going to be for T1C. I'm really looking forward to it. Okay, let's do it. How's it going, everybody? Andrew Awall here, and we're doing a YouTube certified channel review for one of my fantastic patrons that is supporting me. His name is T1C. He's a gaming YouTuber, and he's a creator that makes hip-hop music, makes gaming content. He's a live streamer. He's active on multiple social media avenues, and I've got so much fantastic advice for this creator that I want to share. And this is going to be here to help him, but also I think a lot of you guys out there that are streamers, that are creators, that are making content across a bunch of different areas and a bunch of different creative fields can learn from. And so this is going to be a lesson, if you will, in focusing in on what your unique attributes are. Finding out what makes you unique, what differentiates you on the internet, what differentiates you as a creator. This is what I'm going to focus on with T1C here, and hopefully you guys can follow along with me in this logic as I walk him through, I think, the steps that he needs to take to become even more successful and become a big success on the internet. Let's freaking go. Thank you, T1C, for your financial support through Patreon. I really appreciate that. Let's get into it. This is T1C's channel, and already almost reached the 4,000 subscriber mark, which is fantastic. And if we take a look at the Social Blade numbers real quick, just to give you guys an idea of how large this creator is right now, he is currently live streaming on multiple platforms and on YouTube. He's at 7,500 views per month. He's getting 73 subscribers per month, and obviously he would like that growth to be much higher and much faster, and that's what I'm here to help with today. And so if you look at the growth curve of this channel and you look at the peaks of this channel, it has gone up to 12,000 views per month and recently got up to 12K as well. And in terms of subscribers, had some spikes here in the 300 range to 200 range, but really this channel has not taken off at any given point. And so a huge part of what we're going to talk about today is how T1C is such a creative person, is such a good, genuine creator who has grinded. Take a look at this. All of you new creators across the board, look at the number of uploads here. Look at that grind. Look at that hustle. 351 uploads on this channel to reach this point of almost 4,000 subscribers. So for those of you out there that are coming to me or going to anyone else saying, you know what, I just don't know why my channel isn't growing, here's the link to my channel, and then you link me a channel, or you link anybody a channel and you've made like 10 videos. This man's made 350 videos to get where he's at today, and he's still grinding, been doing this since 2014. So just to give you a better idea of what T1C's content is all about, it's primarily anime gaming content and anime live streams. There's the occasional video on the channel, which there are these like edited videos here and here, which are basically highlights of live streams. And then there's these 2-hour to 1 hour, sometimes 4-hour live streams on the channel. So one thing that I want to point out here at the beginning of this channel review is, I told you guys this multiple times before, but live streams do not grow YouTube channels. Live streams do not grow YouTube channels. Videos grow YouTube channels. What live streams can do is help you build a stronger community, and live streams can help you monetize that community. You can make money by doing live streams, getting tips, donations, super chats, getting channel memberships, Patreon donations, etc. But live streams do not grow channels. And so this is one of the primary reasons why this channel is not growing, is that there is not a video strategy in addition to the live streaming strategy that is growing the channel. Right now, the channel is just highlights of the live streams. This is a highlight here. This is a highlight here, for example, and then there's streams. And so this channel is not going to grow from this point until there's a shift in strategy where the videos being released on this channel are growth videos, or videos that serve the YouTube algorithm. Then you can live stream on top of that, T1C, and get some traction. But wait, we've got to go way deeper on this channel review than that. Case closed, right? No, we need to go way, way deeper than that. So let's take a look at your branding. I love your avatar. I love for an anime-focused channel, it combines a number of attributes that you have. Obviously, it looks very anime-y. There's a mic here, which obviously indicates that this is a hosted channel by a hosted personality. And you've got this chain on with that says T1C on it, which kind of like has this like urban hip hop kind of feel. And that's what I think is the most interesting attribute of this, that's the part that I think communicates who you are in a unique way the most. And what I mean by that is this creator actually is an artist, is a hip hop artist, has a hip hop channel that with like unique tracks, with original tracks and music videos and what have you. And this is something that makes T1C3's incredibly unique. There's an entire separate channel just about this. And I want to talk about how you can double down on this and focus on this, because within the gaming community in particular, and gamers out there know this, within the gaming community, how many hip hop artists / gamers are there? There's like almost none. I actually literally cannot think of any hip hop artists / gaming creators. And so I think that this can be a huge, unique differentiator for you with your channel. Actually, I can think of one hip hop artist / gaming creator, like people that make like gaming rap videos, but I wouldn't even say he's a hip hop artist. He's more of a gaming rap creator, just like pure and simple. But anyway, I think that this is a big angle for you, and I want to help you narrow down your strategy on how you can meld this hip-hop element of your life and of your creativity and of your persona with the gaming part of you, and bring those two together to strengthen them and make you a unique personality on YouTube and on the interwebs. Spooby HD and Jimmy, thank you for joining me on this legendary channel review live. But anyway, so I like your anime branding. I think that it's cool, but we're going to talk about the viability of anime on your channel. And, you know, does anime really meld with the hip-hop side of yourself? Are these two things that are truly complementary? And so when I look at your live stream content, which I'll just fast forward to part of your live stream content, you've got these like beats in the background. You've got these like I think a lot of these beats are original. You're a hip-hop artist. And then you're playing these games. And for the most part, you're just playing these games and you're quiet for the majority of the time that you're live streaming. And we don't get as much of your personality through the content because you're focusing on the gameplay. Is it possible for any creator to become large on YouTube by only doing streaming on YouTube? And there's only one creator, Travis Richardson, it's good to see you. There's only one creator in the history of YouTube that I've seen that became huge on YouTube because of strictly by live streaming from scratch. They built a channel by live streaming from scratch, and that creator's channel is now dead because they diversified out to other platforms and got ahead of themselves. So anyway, that's the case there. So good to see you guys on Twitch who just joined. Good to see you. But anyway, so this is his live stream content. And T1C, when you're doing live streaming on your channel, you're quiet too much. And I don't feel like the content that you're creating or these games that you're covering and these like Naruto Shinobi Striker is conducive to your personality and conducive to the best elements of your personality. The best elements of your personality are that you're genuine, you are real, you have this like kind of hip hop vibe, namely because of the music in the background and because you're a hip hop artist. But when you're doing these live streams, for the most part, you're just kind of quiet and focusing on gameplay. So I think that one thing you need to consider is choosing games that will allow you to emphasize your unique elements as a personality. Because YouTube is so unbelievably competitive, because YouTube is so unbelievably brutal, same thing with Twitch and any of these other major creator platforms, you gotta focus on what makes you unique and what makes you incredible. And your gameplay in these games, I don't know if it's pro level or whatever, but I don't feel like the gameplay itself is the unique part of your channel. And the way that your live streams stand right now, it's too gameplay focused and it's not T1C focused enough. And so I think that these games do not bring out the best in your personality. You're just too damn focused on the gameplay itself. So I'm going to talk about options here in a moment for that. But yeah, really quick to address Travis Richardson's question about can a creator grow on YouTube only through streaming? So a lot of folks will look at Typical Gamer, and I'll bring up Typical Gamer as an example. They'll be like, he grew through live streaming. He became one of the biggest streamers on the platform through streaming. And that is not true. Actually, Typical Gamer ended up becoming big on YouTube because he produced gaming videos first, up to, as you can see, 4 minutes, 10 minutes, 9 minutes, 1 minute, 2 minute, etc. for Red Dead Redemption and these old games. And then after he created videos and he became successful through his videos, Then he ended up transitioning to a live strategy after he got 1 million subscribers. So a lot of people point to him as, yeah, YouTube gaming and streaming on YouTube is a viable strategy to grow a channel. It is not a viable strategy to grow a channel when you're getting off of the ground. Once you are already off of the ground and you've reached a certain threshold of concurrent viewership and you're able to grab up #1 search results for particular titles, and I've done entire streams about that, then you can use your channel that's already gigantic to capitalize and to grow from there. So you have to reach a certain size on YouTube before you can grow on YouTube using streaming, and that size is the, being the top 1% of the top 1% of YouTube. So Tice needs to keep that in mind as well. But so anyway, let's go back to your branding. So if you are going to stick with anime, your current branding is fine for anime. I feel that you have tailored it to anime. However, I feel that the mashup of hip-hop branding plus anime branding is not that strong, and I don't think the mashup of anime content with a hip-hop personality is that strong either. The connection between those two things is not being made clearly today. So anyway, that's what I think about your current branding. I'm not going to dive too deep into that. The site is more competitive to Twitch for upcoming YouTubers, can answer later. YouTube is the most competitive platform out of all of the platforms, simply because there's more creators and there's more content being released. And in terms of gaming, there's 200 million people watching gaming on YouTube every single day, where there's only 15 million people watching gaming content on Twitch. So YouTube overall is more competitive from a video standpoint. However, your ability to be discovered on YouTube far exceeds your ability to be discovered on Twitch. So what do I mean by that? So if you make content on YouTube strategically and you make the right videos within the right niche with the right metadata, and you've put in time into mastering how to work the YouTube algorithm, then you can grow through video content on YouTube. But your time investment on YouTube is in mastering how to capitalize on the YouTube algorithm. Whereas your time investment on Twitch is just investing time into streaming and being live longer than your competitors on Twitch. There is no mastering the algorithm on Twitch. The way that you grow on Twitch is being live longer than other people and bringing more value while you're live, whereas on YouTube, it's all about spending time to master your craft and master how to beat the algorithm. And then after doing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos on YouTube and mastering that craft, then you can grow on YouTube. So which platform is more competitive? I'd say YouTube is the most competitive creator platform, but it is better for small creators than Twitch, because on Twitch, it's almost impossible to be discovered unless you're live longer than all of your competitors. That's the short answer, Travis. Okay, cool. So going back to Tice's, well, that's relevant to Tice's legendary channel review. Let's talk about the games that you're covering. So it's really important to look at the numbers behind your trends that you're covering. And here on your channel, you're looking at anime games, and I'm very familiar with anime games because through my job, I help run TGN Anime, which is an anime games only channel. We just hit 100,000 subscribers recently. Luis is doing great. Globku is doing great here. And we're covering the same games you are on your channel. So I'm very familiar with this space and how to grow in this space and the potential market size of anime games on YouTube. And long story short, there is not that much meat on the bone when it comes to anime games on YouTube. Naruto Shinobi Striker is the second largest anime game on YouTube, and then you're looking at Dragon Ball FighterZ or Fighter Z being the second largest. Take a look at Google Trends. There's really not that much meat on the bone here. You're covering Shinobi Striker on your channel, which is the second largest. Dragon Ball FighterZ or Fighter Z is the #1, which is double the size of Shinobi Striker on YouTube. And then Dragon Ball Legends is the #3 game. Outside of those three games, there are not any other viable games on YouTube in terms of anime content. So you're already capitalizing on one of the biggest three games. So I can't give you the recommendation of go cover bigger games and be successful. The only option for you there is Dragon Ball Fighter Z, and you could expand there. There's double the potential audience, but there's also way more competition. So within this space, you're already kind of there. You're already kind of covering the right trend. but the only expansion for you is Dragon Ball Legends, as well as Dragon Ball FighterZ. I'd like to show you something interesting. Let's compare these anime games with, say, upcoming games, such as Red Dead Redemption 2 and Fallout 76. And if I add one of those games to this timeline, these are games that don't even exist yet. I'd like to show you what the difference is. A game that doesn't even exist yet, Fallout 76, has more than 3 to 4 times or double the interest of the games that you're currently covering. And so this is going to be a theme that we're going to talk about in a moment. So, how is it when you're a hip hop personality? I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it 100 with you right now. Oh, you're asking for streamers. Which platform is better to grow on? I still think YouTube is still a better platform to grow for streamers than Twitch, but I'd recommend for streamers, Twitch and YouTube, neither one of those is a good platform to grow on. The platforms statistically, and I've done an entire live stream about this, going over all of the numbers. Statistically, the 2 best platforms to grow on right now in terms of live streaming are Mixer and Facebook Gaming. Lower competition on those platforms and a much higher audience growth. Whereas YouTube and Twitch are growing, but the competition is growing faster than the audience is, which means that as each day passes, growing on Twitch and YouTube becomes more and more difficult. Whereas on Facebook Gaming and Mixer, the audience is growing faster than the competition, which means Facebook Gaming and Mixer are way better platforms for small creators to grow. It's just a numbers game. And that's based on the Streamlabs analysis of all streaming platforms. Cool. So when we talk about what direction you should go in, you need to emphasize your unique hip hop personality. You are a hip hop artist. You have beats. You are real. You are genuine. This is unique in the gaming space. It's very rare that you see this. And for the most part, people that kind of like fit this mold as a personality generally are not covering anime games either. They're generally covering, like, generally speaking, you're going to see hip hop as like a cultural phenomenon associated with, you're supposed to be looking at my screen right now, associated with fighting games and with sports games. So if you're able to break outside of those areas, which you have with anime a little bit, but it's an anime fighting game, you can take hip hop culture and you can bring it to a whole nother portion of gaming that it currently doesn't have. And so that's, I think, the big unique play for you, the big unique opportunity for you as a personality, which we're going to talk about right now. So let's talk about what you could do to use your hip hop appeal with a game. So when we talked earlier about the trends here, you're already covering the biggest anime trends right now, so there's no opportunity for you to go bigger, really, other than Dragon Ball FighterZ. So if you want to take something extremely culturally relevant and big like hip-hop culture and bring it into another portion of gaming, you need to pick a wider appeal. You need to choose a game that's going to have a larger influence and a larger group of people that you could potentially attract. And so I want you to take a very serious look at Red Dead Redemption 2 and Fallout 76 as 2 big upcoming titles on YouTube, on Twitch, and on everywhere that you could potentially cover as a personality and meld hip-hop with those things. And you might be like, what do you mean? Like, make hip-hop tracks about these games? No. Meld hip-hop culture, your hip-hop vibe, your hip-hop personality with these games to stand out from the armies of other generic, bland gamers that are going to fit a similar mold of white guy or Asian guy playing these games and making informative content, okay? This is your opportunity to stand out as a personality and bring a new category into the game here. Let me share with you an inspiration for why I'm recommending this. This is a creator that I've worked with for a long time. I think they're partnered with Broadband TV, and the partner, he's one of the original, an OG TGN partner. And I've been talking with him, and I've kind of advised him over time. His name's Steve the Gamer, and I've advised him over time a few times when he's growing his channel. He was wondering what he should do, and he was in a similar boat as you. He grew his channel through videos on YouTube, and then he reached a certain point through video content on YouTube, and then he switched over to live streams, and then now he's going back to videos now on his channel. And the reason why I bring up Steve the Gamer is you remind me of him a lot. where he was a little bit all over the place. He wanted to really double down and make this thing happen. And he's got this genuine appeal. And his genuine appeal worked beautifully well with a game like Grand Theft Auto. And he ended up blowing up from like 100,000 subscribers up to 1.6 million subscribers because he was able to bring his unique vibe and his unique personality and like this kind and to the Grand Theft Auto niche. Whereas everybody else was bringing the same vibe, the same content, the same clickbait, he was bringing a whole new vibe. And so what he did is he went ahead and went with this like police theme, and he plays as the police in Grand Theft Auto and busts people in the game. And like this is one of the like, he's got like 958 episodes of this show. And he used his unique elements of his personality and figured out a game and figured out a mode and figured out content that vibes with his personality and brings the best out of his personality. Let me link you to Steve the Gamer. He's a great guy. He's someone who's done a combination of gameplay and live content. You remind me of him a lot because of your chill, genuine personality. And so the reason why I'm asking you, Tice, you're liking the advice. I'm glad you guys are liking the advice. I'm trying to help this creator out, man. I'm trying to help this creator out. The reason why I'm bringing Steve the Gamer up and his Grand Theft Auto content up is he ended up live streaming in the end and doing gameplay in the end once he found a great format and a great unique format. So Red Dead Redemption 2 is a huge opportunity for you, and it's just an idea. But Red Dead Redemption 2 is all about the Wild West. It's all about cutthroat. It's all about essentially like, in some ways, it's a very like, I don't know, for me, it melds really, really well with some ideas behind hip hop and urban culture and like gangsters and being cutthroat and getting your own resources and getting yours. And I feel like there's a lot of similarities between the Wild West and hip hop culture and urban culture and like street culture that it could meld really, really well together. To have, think about it, like have like a real genuine hip hop personality playing as this like renegade criminal in the Wild West. And that kind of mashup of hip hop and Wild West could bring out some really cool things out of your personality. And like, instead of the Red Dead Redemption 2 music, which is like banjo music, and it's not banjo music, it's like country music and folk music and what have you, you can turn off the in-game music and then put on your original hip-hop tracks in the background and play Red Dead Redemption 2. So it's like a hip-hop, somewhat gangster, kind of street kind of feel on top of Red Dead Redemption 2. Just an idea. The same thing could be the case for Fallout 76. I don't know if you like these games. I don't know if you like these games, but the point is, these are two upcoming big viable games, big open world games that are going to have modding, they're going to have multiplayer, they're going to have constant updates, and the size of these trends is absolutely massive when compared to the current titles that you're covering. And so right now, the titles that you're covering are fighting games. And Redemption 2, I'm just typing it in here, are fighting games. And with fighting games, you have to focus on fighting people the whole time, obviously. There's not that much story. There's not that much opportunity to insert yourself into the content. Whereas with story-based games, with open world games, with games that have modding, with games that have multiplayer like this, there is unlimited opportunity for you to insert yourself into the game, in your personality into the game, and your hip-hop sensibilities into the game, and your unique elements of your personality into the content that you're creating. And so I think that Red Dead Redemption 2, Fallout 76, even Grand Theft Auto 5 to a certain extent, are better types of titles for your personality, not fighting games, not anime games, because they don't tap into your number one most defining attribute, which is what makes you unique. I don't know how many gaming creators are out there that have Spotify and have their own original hip-hop tracks and can actually put together decent lyrics and come across as being genuine within the world of hip-hop. That is your unique differentiator. I'm gonna put a million check marks next to this. You need to double down on this element of your music career and of your creativity and bring that into your gaming life and into your gaming personality. So Travis Richardson's asking a great question related to you, Tyson, to everybody out there looking at Red Dead Redemption 2. Do I believe Red Dead Redemption 2 will have the longevity of Grand Theft Auto 5? That is a great question. The answer to that question is a resounding absolutely yes, it will. I don't think it's going to be as big overall as Grand Theft Auto 5 because Grand Theft Auto 5's setting is way more relatable to the average person because it's a city. And also in that game, you can have, you know, fancy cars, you can have airplanes, there's guns, there's way more things that are a part of our pop culture and mainstream culture that has way more crossover with just mainstream culture and Grand Theft Auto 5's setting than something like Red Dead Redemption 2. Are you guys are all familiar with Red Dead Redemption 2? I'll just pull up a quick little gameplay video for you guys to check out, or just the website, but it is set in the Wild West. So the Wild West is absolutely a niche setting. And so that means that that niche setting is going to obviously limit the total audience size. But the attributes that a game needs in order to be viable for content creators remains the same. And those attributes are, number one, we talked about it earlier, number one, the game needs to have modding. If it has modding, that's a huge, huge thing for creators because that means that the game can have an unlimited number of iterations. Also, it needs to have multiplayer, which this game is going to have multiplayer, and they are going to learn everything that they learned from Grand Theft Auto 5 and implement it into this game in terms of online. I've watched the developer interviews. And then the other portion of it is that they need to have ongoing updates for the game and DLC, which is going to keep the game fresh and keep the fresh flow of content for creators to make. So all three of these result in the same thing. More like basically you're hoping that they result in infinite creator possibilities for the content. So that, you know, think about Red Dead Redemption 2 with mods on PC. You know, you can play in the Wild West, but the mod is going to let you bring in like a tank or something crazy like that, right? Or let's say you're in the Wild West and you can play as Batman. Or you're in the Wild West in Red Dead Redemption 2's universe and there's something that can give you super jump. Like all that stuff is going to be there. Every one of those things can be a great live stream, can be a great video. The multiplayer element with online, if you can find somebody like like a strategy like Steve the Gamer, where he just basically found, you know, look, I'm a chilled out dude. I think that's ultimately his appeal. Steve the Gamer, the example I'm showing for you, Tice, he's a super duper chilled out dude. And so because he's so chilled out, he's so genuine, what is the least chilled out thing that you can do in terms of content? And that's play a SWAT. That's playing as the police and busting people and blowing stuff up and shooting people with guns in these extremely high stress scenarios. And so that mashup of chill with Steve the Gamer and then high stress, high stakes scenarios, as you can see here, shooting people with shotguns, chasing down criminals, blah, blah, blah. That mashup of worlds is the secret sauce to his content and why he became ultimately successful, in my opinion, with the unique appeal of his content. And so what I'm suggesting to you is to do a mashup as well of hip hop plus something else that is conducive to hip hop. And I do not believe that anime as a genre is conducive to hip-hop, as open world genres, or something that is drastically different, like a sci-fi universe, like you would get with Fallout 76, a near sci-fi type of fantasy scenario, or something like Red Dead Redemption 2, which is going to be the Wild West. So for this creator to grow, what ratio would they need of anime to Red Dead Redemption 2 and streaming to regular video? That's a great question. So as it stands right now, you're always going to need an 80-20 ratio whenever you're experimenting with new content. So given that, your content right now is, so let's just take Fallout 76 off the table, and let's put Shinobi Striker here? Great questions by Travis Richardson. By the way, full disclaimer, I work with Travis Richardson. Travis Richardson is a great guy. He works for Broadband TV, and he works, he's an expert in gaming. So that's why he's asking me these good questions. So what should be your ratio of Red Dead Redemption 2 versus Shinobi Striker content? And the ratio in terms of videos and live streams, I would highly recommend an 80-20 rule in both instances if you can help it. And so that would be 80% videos and 20% live streams, to be perfectly honest. And then I would recommend 80% Shinobi Striker to start with and 20% Red Dead Redemption 2. Then, if Red Dead Redemption 2, and for everybody out there looking to break into a new game and to break into a new space, if, let's say, Red Dead Redemption 2 is doing significantly better than your anime content, Tice, then you can go ahead and do more than an 80-20 ratio of Red Dead Redemption 2. You can then increase that to 70%, 60%, 50%, blah, 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 and then even out the ratio and transition out of covering Shinobi Striker if Red Dead Redemption 2 is more successful for you. I'd say worst case scenario, because I know you like to stream and I know you want to continue to stream. I say the most I would recommend that you mix the content on your channel is a 50% streaming, 50% video ratio. At most on the streaming end. Try to produce more videos than you do streams right now if you can possibly help it. The more videos, the better on your YouTube channel, Tice, because you're in that growth phase and videos grow channels, live streams do not. So perfect scenario on your YouTube channel, you would do 100% videos, period. No live streams on your channel. And then just in terms of from a channel growth perspective, I'm not talking about from a creative and fulfillment perspective, but from a channel growth perspective, 100% videos would grow your channel the most, and you would do 80-20, 80% Shinobi Striker, 20% Red Dead Redemption 2, until you figure out whether you can do Red Dead Redemption 2 in a viable way. So that is what I would tell you there in terms of the content mix. Fantastic question from Travis Richardson. So here's the other piece of advice I'd give you. I know you love to live stream, man, and I'm not telling you to stop live stream, but what I am telling you to do, and I'll repeat this a million times, and I'll keep repeating it because all creators need to realize that the opportunities have never been bigger. This is the golden age of distribution. Restream.io, I know you restream already, but add every single friggin' platform you can. Right now I'm on Twitch, Periscope, Mixer, Facebook, Smashcast, Streamcraft, Mobcrush, Good Game, Live Video, Vaughn Live. Oh my gosh, the list keeps going on. Instagive, Breakers TV, Vapors TV, Stream Me, YouTube events. And look, I'm gonna be adding even more to my live streams. I'm gonna be adding Picarto, Chew TV, Africa TV, Billy, OK to RU, all of these. Every single one of these. Ustream, I'm going to be adding all of those, and you should too. Every single one of you should add every single platform in Restream.io to your content slate. Why only compete on YouTube and on Twitch, the most competitive platforms out there for creators, when you can potentially bring your content to these other platforms and instantly be the king and instantly be discovered? I can tell you from experience, and Tice, you've probably heard me say this before, I can tell you from experience, having only done this kind of creator content on my channel recently for just a small period of time, I have got paying clients, you know, for my Patreon and consulting clients as well that are not on my Patreon. That's actually the majority of my clients is consulting from Twitch, from Periscope, from Mixer, from Facebook, from LinkedIn, and from YouTube. Paying clients, creators, small businesses, entrepreneurs, tech startups, all those different types of people that would want advice from somebody like me who's a media professional and executive. I've gotten clients from all of these platforms, and many of those platforms I had dead followings or no followings on when I started streaming there. So you can be discovered on these platforms. Even if, don't write these platforms off. With just a few hours of setup, you can be streaming on 25 different platforms simultaneously. Why are you going to leave viewership on the table? Why are you going to write off platforms before you've even tried them? So that's another piece of tactical advice I would give you, Tice, to grow your channel. Now let's give you one, I'd be remiss if I didn't comment, Tice, on your thumbnails and on your titles, because as we know, those are critical to success on the platform, and we'll continue to work together over time, Tice, on this, since you are my patron. And you can send me your thumbnails and titles, and I'll continue to give you feedback there. But your thumbnails and your titles could use some work in terms of showing the value of your content. So let's take this, like you're almost there. You're there with your titles, but your thumbnails aren't there. So let's take this video, for example, right here. This is a pretty decent title. Is Shinobi Striker dying? That's a pretty clickable title. It's okay. It communicates some unique value. It could be improved, but the thumbnail doesn't communicate that much. There are 3 different faces here, and there's you here as well, and there's 4 faces on this thumbnail, and then the logo of the game. I feel like the thumbnail doesn't clearly communicate what this video is all about and what the value of this content is. So let me show you an example of somebody who would clearly communicate how I'm gonna show you a channel that's controversial, but it's an ultimate example here of showing value of the content. Let me show you an example of a thumbnail that clearly communicates discussion of a game that is dying, just as an example. So check this out. There we go. So what's more clear, your thumbnail or this thumbnail that says, did it fail? And it has a picture of the main character from the game here, a chart with a downward trend falling into the ground, and it said, did it fail? You see how much more clearly this thumbnail communicates the message? Where at a glance you can tell, this game, downward trend, did it fail? Got it. I fully understand what this piece of content is about and what the value of this content is from the thumbnail. Whereas if we go back to your thumbnail, there's a dude who I may or may not know, you. There is 2 characters that are in black and white. I don't know what those are. So I don't know who this guy is. I don't know what those 2 characters are, and I don't know what that thing is on your shirt. And it's all black and white, and I really can't tell what's going on back there. But I can see Naruto versus Boruto Shinobi Striker. So do you understand the difference between their thumbnail and your thumbnail? You got to think about the end value of the video, and as clearly as possible communicating that value with as little elements as possible. Your thumbnail has 5 elements, their thumbnail only had 3. And so I'd recommend moving forward with your thumbnails, trying to strive for a maximum of 3 elements in every thumbnail. If you can do it in 2 elements, even better. Okay, so that's just some quick tactical advice for you there. But I've given you so much to think about, Tice, in this 30-minute YouTube channel review that I'll let you mull it over. I've given you feedback on your branding, what games you should be covering, what platforms you should be on, how you can meld your other creative ventures and bring it into this one. I brought up new games that you could cover. I've given you tactical feedback on your thumbnails, and you need to do some soul searching on how experimental you're willing to be, how much risk you're willing to take, and how important it is to you to have the hip-hop element of your creative life be brought into the fold with the gaming element of your creative life, and how much you want to really truly bring those together in the long term if you're trying to do this for a living. Cool? Thank you so much for watching, everybody. That was a channel review for this patron, Tice. Thank you very, very much for your financial support, and I'm happy to give you a legendary channel review. And thank you to Doug Colbert as well for his $150 pledge to do one-on-one coaching with me. I'm very excited to be doing that with him as well. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back live tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, with another episode of The Digital Drop. Tomorrow is going to be a social media episode with Andrew Perrin talking off YouTube strategy. So I hope to see all of you guys there. Keep creating amazing content. Tice, keep going, and don't be afraid to take some risks and to mix that strategy up. What do you have to lose right now? Seriously, you've been grinding for years, 400 videos. Why not try a big, new, bold strategy that taps into your most strong elements of your personality? It could actually work out. Adios, amigos, and have a fantastic Canadian Thanksgiving.